So this was a fun piece. The Wrap is reporting on this, and I'll have to read a couple sections, so you'll forgive me. But essentially, this is possibly the worst news. This might be the worst news possible for Democrats writ large. It turns out Tucker Carlson is not just beating CNN and MSNBC in aggregate ratings. He is actually now winning over more Democrats than CNN and MSNBC are, at least in the most coveted set of demos, which is the essentially 25 to 54 year olds. So let me just read you this quickly. And I'm pulling this from the Wrap. More surprising are the stats about Carlson and Fox News poll with self-proclaimed Democrats. Of those demo-age viewers, we're talking 25 to 54 years old, of those demo-age viewers surveyed who identified as Democrats, 39% chose Fox News, 31% chose MSNBC, 30% chose CNN for programming from 8 to 11 Eastern p.m. In total viewership, listen to this, Fox News grabs 42% of Democrats aged 25 to 54. CNN nabbed 33%. MSNBC got 25. So MSNBC is almost 20 points behind, and CNN is almost 10 points behind. If I'm a Democrat, if you're a Democrat strategist and you're seeing this, what are you thinking, Abby?
Oh, man. I would be terrified because it's showing that your younger demographic particularly is starting to sway away from the party line. I mean, they could still stay, as self-proclaimed Democrats, but it seems that at least ideologically, they're starting to dip their toe into other waters.
Yep.
Which when you're looking at voter demographics, that's just horribly damning for the Democratic Party. To see like, oh, great, they're watching Tucker Carlson, which means they're being exposed to things that is contrary to the party line thinking. And that should have them terrified and running for the hills. And
it's not just that they're watching in a vacuum. They're watching because the exposition that they're experiencing resonates with them. The stories Tucker's telling register. That's why they're staying there. So that's like doubly bad. It's not just that they're like, oh, let's try Fox News. It's that they've tried it and they're sticking.
Right. It's not just random, oh, I guess I'll watch Tucker Carlson tonight.
Yep.
Like, nope. It's way more than that.
So so Dems are losing part of their base there. Now, check this out, Tara, with independents. I'm pulling from the Wrap's piece on this. Fox News also commanded the largest number of independents in the key news demo during primetime and total day hours. 55% of those 25 to 54 year olds watched Fox in primetime compared to CNN's 23%. And MSNBC's 22%. Effectively, Fox doubles both of them. During total day hours, 58% of independents in the demo watched Fox News, 18% chose MSNBC, 25% did CNN. So not only is the Dems base eroding to Fox, independents, which is where the Dems would go to get replacement voters,
right?
They're skewing toward Fox too. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is again, like if you're watching this and you're a Democrat, what are you thinking?
I think you're looking at the TV and you're seeing this sad little outrage culture that's going on every day, and you're seeing the sky is falling. And, I think there's just an intrinsic human level of, oh, well, these people are saying the sky is not falling, number one, and that's kind of more assuring. But number two is that at least Tucker Carlson is honest about his bias. He's openly said he's got conservative and is openly telling you this is my perspective.
Right.
He's not someone like Rachel Maddow or the people and cronies at CNN being like, oh, we're the mainstream news media and I'm just a political correspondent. It's like, no, you're not. You're a leftist correspondent and you need to stop telling people that you're not. You clearly have a political agenda, and at least the people at Fox News are honest about it.
Yeah, we'll forgive you a lot of things, but dishonesty is not one. Just tell us what you are.
Exactly. Yeah, I just don't see this being any good outcome for the Democrats. And I think, honestly, some of it is born out of just some thoughtlessness as they focused on COVID, like we've talked about. They are so used to, like, over the past decade, to controlling big media and having the faithful following of the Democrats that they don't know what to do when all of a sudden things are a little more nuanced and people appear to be a little more open to ideologies amidst, a very, very divided country. And so it's just like, oh shoot, we're used to things staying the same and controlling the media, and now we don't know what to do.
So we didn't actually have this on our list of stuff to talk about, but it was late breaking. The White House has now weighed in on the Joe Rogan Spotify issue and has asked Spotify essentially to, best we can tell, they've asked Spotify to engage in censorship. So I love the memory of Brian Stelter being on camera musing about how it's possible for Joe Rogan, this nightclub comic who was on news radio 27 years ago, how is this guy beating us in the ratings? Mm-hmm. And so I wonder, you made the point, the media is used to being in control.
Yeah.
They've been able to set the narrative and do whatever they've wanted.
Right.
They've gotten used, instead of doing interviews, they kind of do, it's just sort of a talking point session where if I'm the CNN interviewer, I'm giving talking points. You're the guest.
Exactly.
You're giving talking points. Why is it that Rogan's beating them?
Again, it comes down to just at least the honesty factor, because Joe Rogan isn't sitting there with some hidden agenda. He's not trying to get anyone to go anywhere. He openly will say he disagrees with conservatives and left on certain issues. But when people come and speak to him and sit down with him, he genuinely just wants to know what their thoughts are, their expertise are, and actually wants to learn from them. And that's what people find interesting, because people are sick of the narrative. People want the news without the narrative. And when you're constantly pushing an agenda, it moved from Trump to COVID, and now it's going on, and they're just searching for things. So I think it's clear that that's why Joe Rogan's beating them. And now they're trying to push their censorship game, again with Spotify. And I think it's just really sad, because when Spotify and YouTube and all of these people come forth and say, oh, we're a platform, it's like, you can't call yourself a platform anymore if you're going to start pushing people off, or kind of like what YouTube does and like just completely removes videos. Because at that point, you're becoming a publisher.